Hello everybody. I almost missed my own show. There you go. Hello everybody, welcome to another Monday night mini medicine card readings. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and we are going to pull some medicine cards. So if you're new here, the way this works is the first 6 people to comment yes get a 1-card medicine card reading. And for those who come in later after those 6 are done, then I tell people to just choose a number between 1 and 6, and I promise that whatever your message is will be dovetailed, woven into that 1 card. Hi, Anna. Hi, Esperanza. Esperanza, do you want a card? We got Anna. Yes, absolutely, Esperanza. Woo, it's good to see you. All right, so, okay, Hammerall, yes. Valerie. All right, so we have 4 out of the 6. And so, excuse me. And so we're going to pull some cards. There's 2 spots left, and I'm a little bit out of it, so I was drawing. I was drawing and watching Frasier, and I almost missed the beginning of the video, so I'm a little bit loopy at the moment, but I will get back into sync. And so, if you're new, the only thing I ask for watching the video is if you would please share this video. Share it far and wide. The more people who can, kind of a mutual benefit. The more people who I can help support me. And it's just reciprocity at its finest. Hello, Missy. Kira is here. I feel like I should start over. Oh, well. All right. So oh, my God. Mercury retrograde, what you did to us. All right, so let's go ahead and start. We have 2 spots left if anyone's coming in late. And just to remind you, I have my PayPal and Venmo tag or pinned to the top of the comments in a tip jar. If you feel like you are getting something out of this and you would like to reciprocate and support your friendly neighborhood shaman, I am more than grateful to receive whatever you wish to give. And I appreciate your kindness and your generosity. It's something I just kind of, it's up there, but I never count on it. So when people do contribute, it's always a really nice surprise and validation that people like me, that I'm doing a service that people are appreciating. So anyway, so let's go ahead and start. Our first card then goes to Anna. All right. Anna, card number 1 is Black Panther in reverse. Black Panther, of course, is about embracing the unknown. I was just talking, a friend of mine did a reading for me the other day, and one of the things that came up was how important curiosity and a sense of adventure are, right? And that's, Black Panther is about that sense of adventure. It's that darkness that you are facing is not doom and gloom. That darkness, that uncertainty, is adventure. It's great mystery. It's only dark because the future is unwritten, right? And so, you know, and it's natural to, you know, life is a dance, right? 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Life is a dance. And every step is a step forward. Like my one guide, Fred, says, your spiritual pedometer does not have a reverse. Every step is a step forward. And also, something that we had our monthly shamanic journey circle the other night, and one of the little nuggets of wisdom that came out was rest is a step forward. We always think, well, okay, I'll get in my rest when I can, but it's like standing in place, or like there's no motion, there's no movement. If anything, it's a move backwards, and so we always downplay the need for rest. But rest is a step forward, because especially when we're moving into the unknown, when we are actively, how do I want to put that? Actively creating our new future, our new reality, however you want to put that. We are changing things at the deepest quantum subatomic level possible, right? And so things might seem dark because you are your normal everyday energy is not accessible to you, because so much of your energy is diving deep into the darkness, into the shadow, into the womb of creation, in order to change and recalibrate and create a new reality. And we tend to think, well, there's nothing changing, nothing's happening, and I'm just lethargic and lazy and tired. I'm not doing anything. Actually, you are. You're doing things on the deepest possible level, you know. The seen world comes from the unseen world. The seen world, of what we call reality, is, if there's a cause and effect, the seen world is the effect, and the unseen world is the cause. So when we start to consciously manifest and recreate our reality, there's, just like breathing, there's exhale and there's inhale. When you're exhaling, things are moving, you're acting, you've got, you know, inspired action, you know exactly what to do, the synchronicities are clicking. And then there's the inhale. It's like, why isn't anything getting done? Why am I so tired? It's because your energy is going inward, metabolizing your reality, right? And changing things from the most delicate, finest level of creation. And so, like I like to say, when it's dark out, when there's no clear path forward, it is time to rest. Because we need that time to process, right? Because I keep going on so many tangents of this, but like they say, in Buddhism, I think it's from Buddhism or Taoism, that you can't think your way to enlightenment. It has nothing to do with the mind. It's the heart. And so we are taught from birth, basically, that logic, that thinking, that, we're a thinking animal. That's what puts us apart from the other animals on the planet, that we can think and logic, and that's our strength. And yes, it is a strength, but it overrides our other strengths. Like they say, the mind is a wonderful servant and a terrible master. And so when we can't logic our way, when we can't see the clear path ahead of us, but we feel like there's something wrong. We feel like there's something wrong with us because we're supposed to, put every brick in line to build our castle or whatever, right? But it's not up to us. There is so much, especially when you're on a spiritual path, at some point, you have to, and there's no have tos, there's no supposed tos, but if you wish to continue beyond a certain point, you have to let go of the whole apparent binary nature, dualistic nature of the universe. And that comes through surrender. You have to surrender to the fact that there is more going on than you can conceive of, that there is more taking place behind the scenes, below the surface, than you can possibly control. And so when you're overwhelmed, when things seem dark, when it's like, when you're bumping up against that kind of cloak of the night, that darkness, and you can't see your hands in front of your face, it's because there's no place to go at the moment. Trust the unseen. Trust your connection to spirit, and know that spirit has, I'm fond of saying, your heart is what connects you to Creator, and your heart is what connects you to all living things. And so your heart is literally your authority. Your heart is Creator speaking to you, because Creator is connected to your heart and connected to the heart of all beings. So when your heart tells you to rest, to let go, you are safe to do so, because Creator takes the goodness, the well-being of every possible living creature into the equation, so that you don't have to. You don't have to figure it out. Trust that the sun will rise again. You might be in the nighttime, but the sun will rise again. And when it's dark out, it's time to dream, right? And in the darkness, one of my guys, when we were, what was it? Imbolc? I don't remember when it was, but we were doing journeys on the significance of the returning of the light. It may have been winter solstice. No, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But what my guides told me was that in the darkness, it's easier to be in oneness with everything because you can't delineate between yourself and others, other things. Everything kind of melds together, right? And so in the darkness, it's easier to explore that oneness within, to Creator, to the universe, to all beings, right? And when the sun comes out, when the light is out, that's when we see the separation between things. We can distinguish between things. And so that's the time of action. You can see your path, and your mind's job is to separate things, which simply is to keep us from running into walls and running into trees or whatever, right? But when it's dark, everything slows down, everything is quieter, you feel part of the darkness, you feel like part of everything, and things are revealed to you. How do I want to say that? You only get glimpses of things, or you get things come into your awareness very slowly, and you never get the full picture. So there's mystery, there's mysticism. It's, and like, one of the definitions of shaman is one who sees in the dark. And when we're journeying, when we're contacting the spirits for guidance, we actually cover our eyes into the darkness, so that we need to be in that darkness to find the light, to bring the light into the light of day. So, did any of that make sense? I feel like I've been rambling. Oh, thank you, Amaral. I'm glad you liked my t-shirt. Yes. White Buffalo Calf Woman is one of my major spirit guides. I talk to her on a daily basis. In fact, I just did pipe ceremony like a couple hours ago down at the river, and with my sacred pipe is always a way to connect to her. So, yep, I love her so much. So, Anna, I hope that makes sense. The fact that Black Panther was in reverse is not that you're doing anything wrong. I think, if anything, it's basically stop pushing. You don't push the river. The river knows where it's going. You don't get on the river and try to change the banks or change the course of the river, right? You get in your boat, you get on the river, and you trust the river to take you where you're going. It's that same thing. It's trusting the flow of energy underneath what is apparent, what is visible, right? So I hope that helps. I really do. I feel like I'm all over the place tonight. But, all right, Esperanza, you are next. You are card number 2. All right. And now, you can't see her, but my Kit Kat, Kira's right here. So I have to figure out how to shuffle the cards without entangling her tail, which has a life of its own. All right. Bye, Kit Kat. All right, card number 2. All right. So Esperanza, Oh, you're welcome, Anna. I'm glad I feel like was just kind of all over the place with that. But maybe someone else chose card number 1, and some of that message was for them as well. So Esperanza, you got Bat in reverse. Guess we're dealing with a lot of darkness tonight. Bat is about rebirth. And in reverse can be when changes happen, right, we can either go gracefully or we can resist the change, dig in our heels, go, screaming and kicking, but change is going to happen, right? And in reverse, it could be like a lot of changes happening, changes that can be overwhelming, oh, Scorpio full moon, that's right. So when Bat comes up, it's basically a death and rebirth scenario. And a lot of times it's like the earth, like your foundation, the earth, the foundation, everything that you used to depend on to support you is either giving way or is shaking up. So there's there's little or no sense of security, no sense of being able to ground, right? Because there's no ground to ground to. And so what I always say is that instead of grounding downward to the earth like we are used to, it's time to ground upward, like Bat with her feet in the ceiling. She grounds up to spirit. And so that is your true, Emerald, you're a Scorpio. Spirit is your true foundation, right? Spirit is who you are in your essence. That divine love and light and joy that you were and that you are before time began and all the way through till after time is over. So it's grounding, it's letting go. It's probably a how do I put it? I was going to say renegotiating, but I don't know that it's really a negotiate. It's like a redefining your identity. Like, because we do tend to identify ourselves by things in our environment, where we live, what we like, who our family is, who our friends are, etc., what we like to do. And so we build our identity on these outside labels. And at the moment, those are all falling by the wayside. And the good news is, because it's to get you to, I keep getting lost for words. To turn your gaze inward at who you are beyond labels, like to really experience your presence, experience your essence, experience that frequency of vibration that is uniquely yours, beyond words, beyond thoughts, to sit in your heart and to feel who you are. And know that that is your identity. You might still be a mom, you might still, be a baker or a teacher or enjoy golf or horseback riding or whatever. But none of those things can totally encapsulate who you are in your essence, right? Dr. Wayne Dyer used to, when he was a professor, he had this exercise he would do with his students, and they had to write like at least one paragraph, I don't remember how long, at least a paragraph, just telling who they were without using labels, without using any descriptions or adjectives. Exactly. You've been a mom for 17 years, and it's like we don't. I was just watching. It was Queer Eye. We were watching Queer Eye the other night, and this man, like he had been married, and their daughters moved out of the house, and suddenly he's over here and his wife's over here, and they because for so many years their children were the definition of who they were. They weren't really who they were the roles they played. And that was their only relationship to each other for so long. So when the children left, they were like, there was a space, this gap, and they were trying to figure out who they were on their own, and they had no clue in how to relate to each other anymore, right? And it's kind of that kind of thing. It's like, and it is a good thing. It's not an accident. It's not a punishment. This is happening because you are ready. This wouldn't be happening if you weren't. And so it's time, and it's a really deep dive into who you are as a being. And in that, when you realize that what you are in your most basic being is frequency, is vibration. And there is nothing that can extinguish that. That is your ultimate safety, if you want to use that word. But it's like, that is the ground of your being. And it is more permanent than anything in this temporal world, right? And so it's an initiation, right? And it can be scary. You're in the dark again, right? You're like bat going into the cave. It's the womb of the earth. It's the womb of the mother. It's where creation happens, where it's like where the fetus grows and develops. It's like you're being brought back to your very essence. And the thing is, kind of along the lines of what I was saying earlier with Black Panther and the darkness and how, like, the oneness of it all, one of the gifts of this darkness, of this uncertainty, is that it's forcing you to rely on other senses besides your physical ones. So like your intuition, if you've noticed, your intuition has probably been kicking up at least a couple of degrees. That's a sign that this is working. And the one thing that's been sitting in my head since I pulled the card is to remind you that you have purpose in this world, that you came here for a reason, okay? And everything you've known about yourself up to this point has been limited. It's been largely dictated to you by others from the outside of how to define yourself. And this is the moment where okay, how to put this into words? You have a destiny. And how do I put this? You can trust the unfoldment of your destiny. Like they say, like for instance, nothing that is yours will ever pass you by, right? And you cannot leave your spiritual path. There's no, like, people are like, oh crap, I fell off my path, or I took a wrong branch, or whatever. And like, that is not a thing. Wherever you are is perfect. And whatever is in front of you is the next step. And this is really an opportunity, if you can, your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to surrender into the greater knowing of your soul, the greater knowing of who you were before you decided to be born into this limited temporal world. To know that you came here with a plan and that nothing can sidetrack that plan. That even though you find yourself in darkness, like I've said before, that darkness is the womb. And when you're in the womb, you are safer than you are ever in any other time of your life, right? So right now, not only is your destiny unfolding before you, the universe is holding special, tender, holding loving, tender space for you. The universe is protecting you. You are safer right now than ever before. Because it's like you go into the cave is shelter. You're sheltered right now. So that you can go within, so that you can rest, that you can allow these changes to bubble up from the inside, and to come in contact through intuition, through your heart, with more understanding of who you are, beyond words, beyond labels. There's I think it was a saying from the Buddha, or maybe it was a Zen master, and someone asked him who he was, and he said, before you asked me, I knew exactly who I was. Now that you've asked me, and I have to put it into linear terms, I don't know who I am. And so there's this surrendering into the fullness of who you are, of letting go of the I don't want to say dependence of, but letting go of the outside reference points, right? Letting go of the outside world as your reference point, which is why, when things shake up, if you were at the pinnacle of your being and everything was perfect, you wouldn't be here anymore, right? There would be no reason to change. There'd be no reason to grow. But because you are who you are, and because you're on a spiritual path, and you have a certain dedication to grow and to find out who you are, right? That is the base question beneath all other questions. Who am I? And when you're on a spiritual path, that gets exponentially louder. And it's not always easy to look authentically at our deeper selves, to let go of everything that has been supporting us in the past. And it's like the Fool card, the Fool stepping off into space, knowing that he's going to be safe, that, the hand of God or whatever will come forward and carry him across the chasm or whatever. I had a dream one time where I had like 2 big sacks on my back, and I came to this cliff, and my guides told me, you have to drop the baggage if you're going to survive this leap. And I knew it's like I had to leap off of this cliff. And I'm like, but, this is who I am. These are the things I believe. This is my story. This is who I've defined myself as. These are the things I've carried with me my whole life that, keep me seemingly safe because it keeps me knowing who I am, but it's not. And so I finally at one point dropped those bags. And rather than even having to leap off of the cliff, I started floating into the sky. Those bags, that baggage, that linear thinking and words and definitions and labels actually were the things that were holding me down. And when I dropped all of that, I was lighter than air. I just floated away. And so I hope this is helping. Again, I feel like I'm going over and over and over the same things. But you are safe. You have a destiny that you can surrender to. You can trust the divine. You can trust Creator. You can trust your guides. You can trust your angels. You can trust your ancestors. And you can trust your heart that the universe is unfolding in perfect harmony, that you are taken care of, right? Like that Einstein quote about your greatest decision is whether you live in a friendly universe or a hostile one. If you truly believe you live in a friendly universe, then every step is a step forward, like I was saying earlier, and the universe supports every step. The universe revolves around you. When you take a step, even if a moment before that step would have been into the wrong direction, wrong in quotations, the universe will revolve around you to make sure that that step is going toward your highest well-being. Okay? Trust yourself. You're here for a reason. And the universe sees that reason, and the universe wants you to succeed. The universe will do everything in its power to support you in going the right way, right? The hardest thing we have to do is let go and surrender. That is the hardest thing, but that is what's necessary. And when you can finally let go of the ballast, like a hot air balloon with the sandbags on the side, right? You drop the sandbags, the balloon flies higher. It automatically, naturally rises. And that's your soul. When we let go of the labels and the definitions, you'll be surprised at how high you rise. Okay? Oh, thank you, Emerald. That means a lot to me. Emerald says that's beautiful. I got chills from your ability to be authentic and follow your heart. That means everything. Thank you, Emerald. That is my goal. That is what I try for. So that is so validating. Thank you. You staying or going, Missy? Hi. Are you going to help? Awesome. I'm so glad, Esperanza. I'm so glad that that made sense to you. All right. Emerald is up. Card number 3. Hi, Kit Kat. Hi. She's like a stomach on legs. I just fed her a little bit ago, and she wants more. Huh, Kit Kat? I have ice cream in the freezer, so when I get my ice cream, I'll give you some dessert too. Not ice cream, not ice cream. Especially not chocolate ice cream. But I'll give you some cat food, right? Okay, deal? All right, Emerald, card number 3. Her tail is wreaking havoc with things on my table here. All right. Oh. Wow, we've got... All right, Emerald, for you, we have Lynx in reverse. I know you guys just had your breath work tonight. And why I bring that up is because Lynx is the keeper of secrets. And when I explain that in shamanic terms, you know, our goal as a shaman is to be the hollow bone, to get ourselves, our egos, our identities totally out of the way so that spirit can come through and affect this world, right? And Lynx is kind of the epitome of that hollow bone. And because she can see, like, she looks at you and she doesn't just look at you, she looks through you. She sees you in your entirety. She knows everything about you without you having to even say a word. And the reason she can do that is because she's cleared herself. She's the hollow bone. She has no secrets from herself, you know. Otherwise, everything she saw would come through her filters. She would see it through her own triggers and issues and stuff like that. And so in reverse, a lot of times it could be needing to purge you know, all of these are kind of like coming together. It's like what I was just saying for Esperanza and Bat. It's like dropping the labels, dropping the descriptions we use, you know. Even, you know, like I say, I'm your friendly neighborhood shaman, right? And I am a shaman, and I'm a cartoonist, and I'm an artist, and other things. But those are all descriptions that can't, again, encapsulate all of who I am. That's why we have multiple descriptions, right? Multiple labels. And so, like, even the word shaman, it's the closest descriptor of who I am and what I do. And it gives people a point of reference to know what they can ask me, what they can approach me with, what, you know. And so it's an interface, it's a connector. but it's not like ultimately I am beyond the label shaman, as everybody is. You are beyond any labels that might try to be put upon you, right? Like Wayne Dyer said, when you label me, you limit me, right? And it's kind of that thing with society where society tries to tries to pigeonhole us and put us each in a little box, right? In a box so small that no one can fit. And so it's kind of it's like, and then we tend to put ourselves in those same boxes, or we exchange one box for another box, right? Like, I notice, like, in some of the like pagan circles that I frequent or used to frequent, I notice a lot, like there are a lot of recovering Catholics in the pagan communities. And for not everyone, but for a lot of people, I see them exchanging one set of dogmas for another set of dogmas, even though it's different, even though it's Wiccan or what heathen or whatever. They're still as dogmatic about how to do things or what are the right words or what, the same as, me as a Catholic child reciting the Act of Contrition by memory, right? I would just blah, 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 blah. I don't know if I can even, oh my God. That's all I remember from the Act of Contrition. But, it's like, what's being asked for right now is a deeper look, a deeper gaze, to turn those eyes of lynx on, like, back at ourselves, to look at ourselves fully and authentically, without reservation, without fear, because, like I said with Bat, you are, in your basic essence, divine light and love. There's nothing else. That is who you are. And so we take that deep plummet into who we think we are and who we've been taught we are, and, holding on to these ideas or secrets that, we hide even from ourselves about who we are. And every little bit of that clouds our vision of the world outside and the people that are in our lives, right? And one thing that I have discovered is that even when you've been doing this work for so long as we have, it's like, you have your favorite pots and pans, right? And they don't always get washed completely clean, right? You might get little things that are still sticking, and over the years, it's like it gets discolored because of what's been cooked in them or whatever, and we just kind of keep throwing stuff in and cooking things anyway. So it like builds up this stuff that's caked on, that's baked onto the surface of the pan, right? But it's not a part of the pan. And we do all this work to clear ourselves and to let go of everything we possibly can. But like our pans, there tends to be this hard baked on stuff around the edges of that hollow bone. And when we start to go to this even deeper place, that's when that stuff starts to flake off, and it can be some of the most painful and most difficult stuff to face, because it's some of the longest clinging. This is like some of the oldest crap that you've ever dealt with in your life, right? And so old issues come up that you're like, whoa, crap, I haven't, had to deal with this in decades, right? And so those things come up, and it's like, it's just a part, and I've had a number of people that come to me, students especially, they're like, I don't know what's happening. Everything was great, and I was feeling on top of the world, and all of a sudden these things started coming up, and I feel like crap, and like I don't even know what's going on anymore and stuff. And I'm like, because you are scraping the sides of the pan. You've got the Brillo pad, and you are scraping, you are applying elbow grease to that pan to get off everything that is not a part of that pan. And so that's part of what's going on, is that you, in all your work, you are scraping the sides of that pan, because any bit of energy that is, how do I put it, that is clinging to you, that is not yours, or does not originate from within you, is a handicap, is something that, in order to realize our dreams and our fulfillment of who we came here to be, has to be gotten rid of, you know. And like a lot of healers, I don't know a lot. I know I've talked to people who do like energy healing and Reiki and stuff, and they truly believe that their job is to project their energy on the other person to heal them of whatever is happening. And that is so not what needs to happen, because when you do that, you're basically enveloping someone else in your energy. And even if it makes them feel better, that's another layer of energy that they ultimately are going to have to go through and shed to get back to their essential self. And so, there's all kinds, I'm thinking like ceremonies. And when I first learned soul retrieval from Sandra Ingerman, one of the things she had us do before we actually learned the technique was we did a shamanic journey to our guides to ask for a ceremony of how to release any energy that we have taken on, either consciously or unconsciously, or that others have put upon us, as well as to call back to ourselves any energy that someone has taken or that we have put on someone else. Because before you start doing that work, it's essential for you to be as clear as possible, to be rid of any energy that is not yours, because that will taint whatever healing you are doing. So, oh yeah, you were Catholic as well, huh? And did a lot of healing in your religious programming. I'm so glad it connects. And I always, it's so funny, because when I know the people that I'm reading and something like that comes up, I'm like, but this guy, he's awesome. And I know he's been doing his work. And so I'm always afraid of something coming up and that I would like offend you, because, oh, I've already done all that, And so that's really good to hear that, because like I said, if you're still here, there's still growth to be done, right? And it's one of those things where, I don't remember what that's called, but when you have a graph, right? And you've got the line that goes closer, and then it just kind of goes, and it never quite, like if you take these numbers and you just do them by, half, and you chart it, you'll never get to zero, right? It's like that line will go up forever, and it'll get closer and closer and closer to zero, but it will never quite touch. And it's kind of like that way with that stuff that we're scraping off, that, in this lifetime, we probably will not get to the place where it's all totally gone, but we can get it to the most thinnest possible layer, wafer thin. So, and I know, like with your breath work and everything, that you are doing tons of work in that way. And trust yourself, trust your vision. When you see something in someone, trust it. It doesn't mean you have to call them on it. It doesn't mean you're responsible for telling them, right? Lynx is the keeper of secrets, not the gossiper of secrets, right? So she sees things and she understands things, and that's how she relates to the world. But unless she is asked specifically, she does not volunteer. There are some people that believe that the Sphinx in Egypt is actually a lynx rather than a lion, because it's that same kind of like the riddle. It's like you have to earn her respect for her to answer you. You have to, there are requirements. It's not just this automatically going up to her and getting all the answers. If that makes sense. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. I'm glad it resonates. All right, card number 4. And I've been really long-winded tonight, so fortunately that's our last one for the night, it seems. And so card number 4 is for Valerie. And then Kira can eat. Okay, had a card. Had a card that jumped out of the deck. So all the cards came up reversed tonight, which isn't bad. Reversed means there's movement, right? Reverse means that things are out of balance, maybe, but they are moving. Because it's imbalance, it's discomfort, etc., that makes us move. And just like fraud, it makes us move toward what fulfills us rather than moving away from. Excuse me. We're always moving toward, like the snake shedding its skin, right? It's the discomfort that makes them rub against trees and rocks and stuff to get rid of that discomfort. And frog, on the other hand, if the water he's in is toxic or uncomfortable or not clean, he will hop until he finds a different, more pure source of water. So, similar to what I was saying to Amaral, right now is a time of cleansing for you, a time of purging, which is, no surprise. But I think it's really important, with frog in reverse, it's kind of like, it can almost be like victim, like, why is this happening to me, or why can't I get out of this predicament? And having really no relief from that. And so frog is telling you that somehow you have to carve out a time and a space for yourself, whether it's, in your home, in a park, going to Starbucks, and reading or doing projects or something or whatever. There has to be a time for you to experience yourself and your own energy. Because otherwise, you're in constant overwhelm, right? You have all these sensations coming in. Some of them may be good for you, some of them may not be good for you, but it's hard to tell because you don't have the baseline to tell the difference. And so the real important thing, and I would recommend, like I said, carving out a space, whether it's in your, a space and time in your schedule to meditate or to journey or whatever it is, yoga, whatever it is, or dance. When you can feel your own energy, and I know, like in the shamanic course, which, by the way, a new year of my shamanic course is starting tomorrow evening, and there's still time and space to sign up. We did the journey where we asked our guides to show us our inner sanctum, our inner sanctuary, our inner temple, right, where we can go to be totally ourselves in a nurturing environment surrounded by light and love, etc. And so I would recommend, like, on a daily basis to try to journey and even ask. My inner temple has changed from time to time, and it might be time to ask where, take me to my inner temple, show me my inner temple, where I can go be totally myself. I can let the world off my shoulders and actually rest and just soak in my own energies, because you are a super empath and everything affects you. Frog is the first one they look at when they think there's something out of balance in the environment, because frog is the first one who is going to show signs of that imbalance. Like the acid rain of the 80s, right? They were having frogs that were showing up with 3 legs, like 3 hind legs, I mean, and stuff like that. So, again, same theme as everyone else. It's like to let go of the outside world and its influences and turn inward, and find your own frequency, your own vibration, your own facet of the divine, right? So, and give yourself credit, right? Another aspect of frog medicine is transformation, right? They went from being a tadpole, totally living in the water, to an animal that can breathe air and can go up on land, right? So give yourself credit for how far you've come. And I think that's like a major issue with our society and a lot of people, is we tend not to give ourselves that credit. That we go from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, because we're always broken and we always have to heal and we always have to fix stuff. But if you never experience the changes happening or the growth that is happening, then you're just spinning your wheels and you're not getting anywhere, okay? And drink plenty of water. That just came in. It's like, make sure you're hydrated. We tend to, I know I do, tend to ignore like the basics of things I need, like being hydrated or, I have a tendency to get caught up in my artwork or my spiritual work or whatever, and all of a sudden I realize, oh, I had to pee like 3 hours ago and I'm still sitting here. So good. I'm glad that made sense, Valerie. You're welcome. You know, and like I've said before, like you can see, like tonight, all 4 cards, there was this thread moving through and all. And so just because you have a card that is dedicated to your question or to your message, there are always messages in the other cards as well. So, but wow, we almost made it within an hour, and I only had 4 people tonight. So that is our last card of the evening. Thank you guys so much. Thank you everyone, whether you're watching this live or on repeat. If you're watching in repeat, you can choose a number between 1 and 4 and watch that card and see what the message is. So get one more card, kind of the community card to get you through this week. And before that, I will remind you that I do have my PayPal and Venmo pinned to the top of the comments. If you got anything from tonight, if you feel like you would really like to reciprocate and just support your friendly neighborhood shaman, I am so deeply grateful for that. And like I said, tomorrow night, starting 6 to 9, I am starting my monthly year-long course of shamanism, where you get to spend an entire year walking the path of the shaman. And I promise and can guarantee that you will not be the same person when you finish that you were when you start. Also, Wednesday nights, of course, I do the Sacred Pipe ceremony right here at 7 o'clock. And then this Saturday is the 4th Saturday, so it's my Sacred Pipe my in-person Sacred Pipe ceremony. And I'm trying to figure out, it's been getting nicer, so I'm assuming we're going to do it outside. So watch my Facebook page or my website, perchinglovestudios.net, to see if it's going to be either outside or in my office. If it's raining, it'll probably be in my office. But if it's nice out, it'll probably be at, Riverview Park. I'll have all the information on my Facebook page. So come and see me in person to experience the magic and the profundity of the Sacred Pipe ceremony. So, okay, I think that was it. So, our last card of the evening. And to wrap things up in a nice, neat little bow, porcupine. Porcupine is innocence. Innocence is its own protection, right? Like Kyle Cease says, an open heart is your protection. You are more protected with an open heart when you are surrendering to that innocence, to that essential self, than you are trying to fight or protect yourself. Porcupine doesn't have to protect himself. He's automatically protected because of who he is. The quills emanate out of him like rays of light, right? And so be the star emanating these rays of light that keep anything of a lower vibration from getting in. And so it's not by protecting ourselves that we become safe. It's by surrendering to our innocence and our true identity that surrounds us with the light and the love that will clear our path before us of anything harmful, right? So be like Porcupine, play, allow that inner child to come out. It's really, this is the essence of everything. This is like the answer to everything. To become that simple, pure, loving presence in the world. Okay? Whew. So that is our readings for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I so appreciate every one of you and the energy you bring to this. And, you know, I don't even always, I mean, I don't know what I know until you ask, until I'm pulling cards for someone. And then these things just kind of tumble out of my mouth like, whoa, that's cool. Are you listening? Right? So thank you for giving me the opportunity to learn and to grow as well. So I hope you will join me again next week. I will, when we're done here, I'm going to share this to my Facebook page and also upload it to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel, where you can like the video and subscribe, please, because that puts me up in the algorithms, which I have no clue about, but it apparently helps me and helps others find me. And the more people who can benefit from what I have to share, the better. So, yeah. And I think that's it. So until I see you again, know that I love you, that I see you, that I honor you. Have a wonderful week, everyone. From me and Kira, have a wonderful week. Go shining.